trade situation. And it's going to take some time, but eventually I'm confident we're going to find the right balance because it's clearly needed.
Does HP need to control its manufacturing though? So
yeah, we already have done. So we have obviously we have a global supply chain, and where the tariff became enacted, there were 4 different phases of the tariff, with the potential of 5th being discussed. We took actions on our supply chain, both on the commodity side and the building of the products, to make sure we can manage those changes. And we were able to mitigate pretty much all of them. The biggest impact was mostly on the networking product side of the house, and our suppliers also have to make changes themselves. So we were able to deal with that pretty well. And here in Europe, we have a very strong model that has worked for many, many years.
So Antonio, you touched on several acquisitions there in that answer, and you've actually done 15 acquisitions in the 2 years that you've been CEO, and you combine that with organic innovation and the strong partnerships that we have. Maybe you could just speak to the group about how you think about that mix of acquisitions, organic partnerships, and how that feeds into one cohesive strategy.
Sure. Well, listen, unfortunately, we cannot invent everything ourselves. And so I think about innovation in three legs, right? One is organic, where we invest our own balance sheets, our dollars, and that's way more productive. And we have great innovation on the floor. You can go look at it. Green Lake is a great example of organic innovation, for the most part. Is our people and our creativity that takes the inputs from customers, and we put these solutions to market. But you also need to complement our portfolio for what I call intellectual property and talent for meeting the demands of the market at the right time. And that's where we have done unique acquisitions. To your point, I have done 15. But the first one was HP Aruba, and HP Aruba is our digital transformation platform at Intelligent Edge. It's a mobile-first, cloud-first approach that has been in the market since 2002, but as became part of Hewlett Packard Enterprise, it got access to massive scale and incremental IP. In that case, we did a reverse integration of taking HP networking assets and built it into the Aruba kind of machine to ensure that we preserve the customer simplicity approach and ultimately the culture aspect of how the innovation was done there in a mobile-first, cloud-first approach. And obviously Cray being one of the last ones here, which is a complete different situation. But again, looking at the market, looking at the segments of the market, looking at the opportunity, we always look what is the right IP in talent, because you have to go both ways, that we can incorporate in our portfolio so that can bootstrap that innovation and accelerate time to market. And let's not forget the third part of this, which is basically the partnership ecosystem, because the partners plays a huge role. And whether it's solution integration or ISVs or very disruptive startups that can be part of our portfolio in a solution-driven approach. And so we have a program called HP Pathfinder, where basically we invest dollars in early stages companies that we believe are relevant for customers, and then we integrate their solution in our portfolio, and we deliver it as an integrated platform to those customers. So that has been the approach, and I would say all the 15 are very accretive to the company. They're making a difference. But obviously, when you have a $31 billion business, you have to transition one part of the portfolio to the new part of the portfolio. That takes time. But you can see the impact it's having to our margins, because our margins have gone up almost 400 basis points in 2 years. And that's a reflection of pricing and intellectual property, which drives higher margins for us. And then the revenue over time will take care, because ultimately it's just a switch in the portfolio mix. But then solutions like HP Green Lake Central will drive the annualized run rate revenue aspect of this, and that's why I felt very confident. and given a guidance to the street that that business will grow between 30 and 40% on a compound annual growth rate over the next 3 years. And that's why we're so incredibly excited. And in that business, it's mostly organic innovation, but sometimes small acquisitions make a big difference. And one of the things that we did many, many years ago was the acquisition of Cloud Cruiser. And Cloud Cruiser is the metering engine that sits inside HP GreenLake Central, which allows us to really do something very unique in the context of giving customers the true consumption model, not a guessing aspect of it.
All right, I'll ask you another question. So,
The people are shy.
exactly. Let's have a Q&A up here. So, Antonio, you have personally led a really big investment and engagement in company culture, and you view that as kind of key to the transformation that we need to make as a company to execute the strategy you've outlined here. So maybe just tell the group here a little bit about how you personally lead that cultural investment and the experience you want to deliver to employees, and how you also really empower your leadership team to step into that and really kind of change who we are internally as a company.
Yeah, just a little bit of history. I've been with the company 25 years. In May 2020, I joined HP, the regional Hewlett Packard, as a call center agent supporting customers on the phone here in Amsterdam, in the Netherlands. And since then, I had the opportunity to work pretty much in every business, the PC business, the printing business, the infrastructure business, the services business, and be the general manager of what is today HP Point Next Services, or the general manager of the compute business, or the networking business, then the enterprise business. So I had a lot of exposure about us, who we are, our processes, and obviously our employees. And I always said, the role of the CEO is to plan the succession of the company, is to build the best possible leadership team and the best possible talent, because in the end, we compete and win with the best innovation and the best talent. And for me, it's something I take to heart, and that's why when I became CEO, I have 3 priorities, very simple. One is our customers and partners. That's why I spend 50% of my time talking to customers and partners. 2 is innovation. Innovation. I'm an engineer at the core, so for us, it's key that we stay in the forefront of the innovation curve. And 3 is the culture of the company. And on the culture side, we put the employees at the center of that, and how we make sure that they have the tools to deliver the best possible experience. Obviously, allow them to go through, like you, through the process of fulfilling your professional dreams, but ultimately feel proud about what you do. And it's not just the money aspect, but it's the overall experience. So we have implemented many, many programs in the last 2 years that have made a huge difference. One I'm particularly proud is the increased focus on diversity and inclusion. That's super, super critical for us. There was a question asked this morning, who I am, where I was born, what citizenship I have. I was born in Argentina, but I'm an American citizen, although I'm a citizen of the world because my parents are Italians, so you can imagine carrying a very diverse culture here. But in the end, for me, it's important we put the employees at the core. And so that diversity inclusion is very strategic, because I believe when you are diverse, you actually have a better company. It's diversity of thought, diversity of gender, diversity of culture makes you much, much stronger. Something that I experienced myself by working in many, many different markets. The other part of this is to really foster, the principle of family. And one of the things that I personally went in my own life with when we had the kids is the fact that you don't have, if you work in the United States, you don't have a lot of time. You just take 2 weeks and then you're back to work. So we extended the parental leave for the parents, not just the mother, from 2 weeks to 6 months. So the parents can take up to 6 months to take care of that newborn. We increased our contribution to the pension plan, which in the United States is a private plan called the 401k. we also implemented a career reboot. So when people leave the company for a period of time, then re-enter the workforce, how we give them the skills to re-enter the workforce and maybe change their career path. So we have done a lot of things, and obviously one aspect of that experience is the workplace opportunity to deliver a better experience. So we actually opened a new headquarters, which I'm super, super proud of it, which I was part of the design because I feel that's a legacy you're going to live. And is a state-of-the-art digital workplace, which obviously all our technologies are embedded to. So that's what we're doing. There's still more work to do, but that has resulted in what I said earlier, a 20 points increase in our employee engagement score, which is simply remarkable. And there are 20 different categories in that, and all of them went up. And in some cases, we are in the upper decile, not quartile, and it's necessary because attracting, retaining talent these days is very, very hard, particularly in the Bay Area. Incredibly hard.
Great. Thank you. All right, so any other questions here? Oh, we have another one here.
Yeah, thank you. Going back to products and service maybe, but I suppose diversify as part of it. Obviously, you're sponsored by one of the CPU manufacturers.
Yeah.
How do you see, with the current situation of shortages in CPUs, how do you see the other elephant in the room, the other vendor maybe having more success with your products and your engagement with customers going forward?
Yeah. So we have an excellent relationship with Intel, which is a platinum sponsor for this event, and is a relationship that's gone on for decades. And we do a lot of joint innovation together. The reality that is customers are looking for choice, so we have to be able to offer choice. And then ultimately, what is the best solution for that particular workload? And so obviously we offer AMD and we offer ARM-based solutions. One of the largest HPC, high-performance computing clusters in the UK, would be an ARM-based solution. And that's because the characteristic of that workload was perfectly aligned to the ARM architecture for power consumptions and performance. So